Yeah, you're.
So I have to say, thank you to Shannon for the. Was it you that brought up the idea of killing, or was it you, Regan, that did it? It's about going nuts and Oust killing.
No, I said you should give him a bigger ice cream.
Yeah,
Ah,
just a bigger ice cream. You never said
And
anything
the,
about killing.
someone in the chat today mentioned killing him. I can't remember. Was it you, Finn?
No, not me.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go back through the Discord then and find out because
It may
someone
have
raised
been
it.
Maybe. Not as serious.
Oust, I must admit, the Oust part of my brain read that, pondered
I thought
it.
that's what you were saying.
Yeah.
That like,
No,
if he doesn't come with me, then he doesn't want his freedom. Then I thought you were going to say then you're going to murder them.
Well, it was definitely you that raised it, Bernard. So that idea has now kind of
Are you
locked
sure
itself in my brain.
Are you sure it was
It was-
Bernard and not like some sort of Tyler Durden situation?
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Was
thinking.
it like
Internal-
was it like Oust saying it to Dave?
No.
yeah. Yeah.
He's like in the back room like punching himself
God damn it! You got me in the ear. Really hurts.
Yeah, I must admit, Oust and I do have some interesting conversations sometimes.
I don't doubt that. I do not doubt that. So so I'm having a look through it. He's saying something about like Bernard thought you were gonna say you'd lightning bolt Colin if he didn't want freedom. Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm getting at. That I suspect is what's going to happen tonight. If Colin if it's something. So the two guards that I've got that are kind of, I don't know, in that standoff at the moment. Once I either deal with them, dispatch with them, or get to the point where I'm talking to Colin, because that's going to happen, I'm going to offer him freedom. If he declines it, he's toast.
You're gonna.
He's totally toast.
How is this
If
the
he declines-
freedom that you were so certain
Well,
you
if he
wanted?
turns it down, I've risked my life to come back to free him. If he turns it down, he's toast.
How, the
I've
logic,
had all day to
the
pon-
logic behind that is amazing.
Alice has had all day to ponder this. He's going to free him from the zoo one way or other. It's going to be dead or alive. You're going out of the zoo. If I have to
RoboCop
take him
rules,
out
huh?
in ashes, if I have to take him out as in a pile of ashes, I will.
Be like a 3-6 foot hole.
Like the sick mind of Oust thinking like, you know what, I'm gonna turn you to ashes, and then he's just like sprinkling him. Have your freedom,
Yeah.
your
He'll
freedom.
free him. Yeah. He'll take him back to a forest and sprinkle his ashes and say, your freedom is granted. That's exactly how it's going to go down.
Wow. Is Oust gonna become like a serial killer? Because that's
Well, I did.
That's
I,
good.
I think I talked to you about this, Finn, a while back. That Oust was heading down that track of heading towards some very dark places, and there'd been some incidences where he was turfing minions over boats and bits and pieces for his own gain. So this could just well be another process step closer to that.
yeah. So
It's quite a petty one as well. Sort of goes with the, with the serial killer that gets blighted.
Yeah, I want this. It's not happening my way. Fuck you all.
Jesus, all right.
That's basically it.
I'm not sure if we've got someone in the comments already sort of asking about the owlbear. I'm not sure if Dabba, I don't know if you were with us last week, but we're back at the zoo again for round 2. So Oust failed at the first one, and he's managed to coax all of us in to try round 2.
When all else fails,
And it will fail.
Just keep on just chatting for a little bit. I've just got one more thing to set up.
Do we actually think we're going to get on the boat today?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, unless
You
you
go
go
so.
to the zoo.
What was that? What was that, Shannon?
Unless we want to go look at the rest of the zoo.
And find more ice
So
cream.
yes. We don't want to waste this sunny afternoon, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think Dabba really wants you to get this owlbear, and I definitely want to see you try. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I have to get the kobold sorted first, and so however that goes down, Alf has obviously in his mind that owlbear and thunder lizard are on the list of things he needs to free. So it could just be 2 massive explosions on their cages to free them. So it could just be lightning bolt
What
type stuff.
happens if they don't want to be free?
then they're toast. Yeah, we don't go,
The owlbear as well.
Yeah, I may have to use Finn's lock-picking abilities or something to free either the owlbear or the thunder lizard, because I've only got 2 of the lightning bolts.
You've got to convince Finn first.
Well, I'm not going to threaten you. I've done that already. So. Oh dear.
Oh dear is about the right sentiment.
It's going to be entertaining. Let's put it down there. I'm not entirely sure how it's going to go down, but it's going to be fun.
It is going to be interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah. That is true.
I just got to get my character sheet all set up.
Yeah, I'm sorting out. No.
Is the oh yeah, it's back up there. Who are we missing? We're missing Oust on the overlay.
Else should be there.
Me?
Oh wait, I was not at the top of the screen. It's fine.
Okay, yeah. But for some reason, both Bernard and Igneous have like a red circle around them. I'm not sure what that means.
It's sugar high.
What's that?
It must be a sugar high.
Yeah.
Hey, Reese,
Dude.
you've got a bit of echo. Is anyone else hearing Reese echo?
A little.
Hold on, I'll get my headphones.
Oh, sweet. How about now? Can you
No,
hear me now?
that's still double Reese.
I can't hear any echo.
Maybe everyone mute. How about I mute? How about now?
I can still
That
hear
works
you,
now?
even though you're
Even
muting.
though I'm muted.
How can you hear him when he's muted?
Oh, Reese, do you have Discord
You're
open?
hearing him through. Are you hearing him through?
I think we've both got Discord open, maybe.
Are you hearing him through the stream?
Nah, I think I was hearing him through Discord. Oh, maybe.
Echo's on a secret
Oh no,
Discord
no,
chat.
sorry, sorry, he's on roll 20. He has roll 20 volume turned on for some reason. All right, I've just muted him in roll 20.
How is the volume in roll 20?
Roll
Rookie
20 has
mode,
voice and video chat, but we don't use it because it's kind of
That's
average.
How do I turn it off?
Go to the settings.
In the settings.
Oh,
This
yeah,
is-
sweet. Found it. Thank you. Is that better?
Rookie.
I can still hear you. Why can I still hear you?
How about now?
I can still hear you. What do you have open? That's.
I'm reconnecting.
Oh, there we go. There we
Better?
go. Yeah, that's better.
Sweet.
All right. I mean, this has been riveting for our viewers.
Yeah.
I decided to go live a little bit earlier, but this is what they get. They get to see the raw, unedited stuff.
The setup of the setup process we go through every Monday
Yeah.
night to bring
Every
them
Monday.
heightened entertainment.
Yeah.
If we were a DVD, this would be the director's cut, and it would cost more.
No, if we were a DVD, this would be like the title sequence
Mm.
that keeps going, and you're really tired and you can't turn it off. It just annoys you for hours.
Yeah.
What
You
I'm
can't sleep because of it.
what I'm a little interested in is that Reese is purposefully not showing us Igneous.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm waiting for is this level 3 iteration of Igneous?
This is level. Yeah, I guess this is what's happened because he's
Yeah.
hit level 10. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, Mark 2.1, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you guys want a teaser?
Oh, come
A
on.
teaser, sure.
Teaser.
Just a little
teaser.
Oh, here we go.
Bum, bum,
Wow.
bum. Oh.
Oh my.
Oh my god.
It is so bullshit.
What?
Yeah.
Is that actual chainmail?
This is actual chainmail, bro.
Did you build
It's,
it or did you
Oh
buy it?
my
This is
god,
my,
the dedication.
My first attempt didn't go too well, but second attempt took a long time. But
To
here
bu-
we
to-
go.
A long time to
What,
buy
you-
and wait for it to ship to you, or a long time to put together?
That is a question.
So you haven't told your wife that you've bought this thing?
Yeah, you're just like, I
yeah.
totally made it. It
Yeah, I
totally.
made it.
It didn't cost $400.
It's one of those- It's one of those
You're not actually
purchases that
too
just
far off, actually.
Holy crap!
Wow.
So it went on the credit card that no one knows about, right?
Yeah.
Exactly, my other credit card.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man,
That is impressive.
that
I'm
is.
very impressed.
That is amazing.
Oh, I'm just gonna use my neck tonight because oh shit, it's all protected.
That is so
I'm just
good.
sending you all a link to a video, to a music stream.
I am.
Nice.
Hmm.
I didn't really prep any music for the zoo because I didn't think we would spend 3 episodes in there. I
I'm
felt like
sorry.
on the 3rd episode we probably needed some music.
I'm sorry.
On the 4th episode, what are you going to need on?
Well, 3rd, right?
No,
The
it's not.
second.
This is completing the
We're
trilogy.
applying this was the last zoo
I'll be
episode.
honest. I'll be honest. Like, there's not a lot of zoo sounds, so this is just generic.
Oh yeah, nice forest sounds. I like it.
Are you now regretting John mentioning the word zoo when it came to what's in this town?
You know what? You know what I'm really looking forward to is watching all of you squirm in the campaign wrap-up episode when I ask you whether or not Luskan does indeed have a zoo.
It does.
We're hoping it does, because
I mean, we're
Well,
in
what,
one.
what I mean is like, is this my invention or is this actually a thing?
oh right.
Gotcha.
Was
Well,
Gotcha.
I'm
Was
given
this-
there's a map. I'm assuming it must have a zoo, unless of course you've just pulled some random zoo map from somewhere.
And this is the kind of squirming we can watch when
Oh, awesome.
we get into that review episode. Anyway,
Okay.
shall I cover us
Okay.
off?
Yeah, let's kick off.
You can.
Okay, so when last we left our heroes, they had at the start of last session, they were just finishing up their squid business at the unnamed establishment that they went to. They went back to the Blood and Bone Inn and had some rested up. In the morning, they had an enormous amount of breakfast, none more so than Paddy. Finn also managed to eat more than his fill. Then, upon leaving the establishment, they, Finn specifically, kind of came across this message that had been left for him in Thieves' Cant outside the inn, and it read that I will be at the meeting this morning. Then the party went to the meeting with the pirate captains, where they met Zelda, who was the guy who had the green and yellow flecked pseudo dragon. They met Miros, who was the man who was kind of more edge than man. They met Nath Tezrin, who had really, really nice shoes, which Bernard actually noticed and gained some inspiration from.
Yeah.
And they met Urgala, who was this kind of very kindly sort of mothery type who was given a very wide berth by the various crew members around her, but also the other captains. After having a conversation with them, they agreed that they would make ready 2 ships to take the party out to find the Morkoth in the, I believe it's called the Purple Rocks. Just off the Sword Coast. And with four spare hours up their sleeve, the party decided to return to the zoo. Just to see, I think, mostly what Aust had been banging on about. Upon entering the zoo, they came across, what was his name?
Greg?
The young... What was that, sorry?
Was it Greg?
Yeah, I think it was Greg, actually. Greg and
Mr. Stevens.
Mr. Stevens,
Yeah.
who eventually gave up the keys. Meanwhile, Bernard, Ignace, and Laura were eating ice cream and candy floss and toffee apples, all the sorts of things that you get when you're out for a nice, fun day in the sun at the zoo. and Finn and Aust were actually the only ones involved in the mission at hand. Once they kind of realized that something was going on, they found out that Colin might have been about to be retired. They moved north. They got into the huts over here, where they found that there's no secret trapdoors or anything. Then they went north into this building over here, where they found a couple of guards. Colin crouched beside, like, kind of sitting cross-legged, big, massive, two-handed ice cream in his hands, lapping away quite happily at it, with someone opposite him in kind of zookeeper car keys, telling him how much they loved him and how they wanted him to be happy. While that was going on, Bernard snuck into the nocturnal enclosure and was at the Jesus. Oh, sorry, you went in as a patron, as a zoo patron.
Bought a ticket.
Yeah. And you couldn't find the invisible pixies, but you did manage to find the owlbear upon closer investigation of its enclosure. Did I miss anything? Is that where we left off?
I think you missed out a small romantic moment between Igneous and Dora.
Oh yeah, that touching moment.
Do you want to describe that from your perspective, please, Igneous?
So Igneous is quite unaware that the moves that he pulled was romantic, but he yawned and like threw his arm over Dora's shoulder, and she's like, "Oh, Iggy, I'm gonna miss you." Puts his head on her shoulder, and he's like, "Oh yeah, day at the zoo. Oh yeah," and isn't aware that his moves are quite romantic.
And you rolled a natural 20, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
It was smooth.
it was so
Very
smooth, liquid smooth.
And before we just do carry on, John, are you able to boost your volume a little bit, or move the mic a little closer to your mouth? Or I think people are saying you're a little quieter tonight.
Okay. We'll try that. Hopefully that works. I'll just...
Microphones, man.
Maybe I'll just boost my mic a little bit. Sorry, everyone. I feel like I'm always...
Frozen.
Perfect.
Gonna strangle myself.
He's always practicing for his mind.
It's force
show.
choking. There we go.
He's gone.
There we go.
Oh, dear.
People were saying your mic was a little quiet as well, Alce, but I don't know if...
Yeah, I'm hoping it's working, but I'm not sure.
Can you just...
Press your laptop mouse.
Alright. Is that fine? My back?
Your back?
Yeah.
Sounds
we
about
can-
the same, but I mean, people can just turn their shit up or something.
Okay. my input volume...
Oh, John.
Oh.
John.
Oh no. What is it with the interwebs? Yeah, I think I can interpret what John was going to say. My input volume was at high too, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Can you give your microphone a tap just to make sure it's...
Is it that?
Yeah,
See?
it's not using that one.
So she's.
Yeah. Boy,
So she's my.
Oh.
Oh, I need a new Mac anyway, but
There you go.
I don't have the money for it right now. If anyone wants to buy me a Mac, feel free.
Oh,
to
yeah,
donate.
I'll offer the same deal.
Well, I don't know about the characters, but I know things are getting dicey for us. We're in.
Snip it in.
We're in.
Okay. Sorry about that. Hopefully my internet holds out. I can hear you guys just fine, and you're
Cool.
still going, but you're telling me, "Oh, John, you're frozen."
Yeah, that happened to me, and I had to change to a wired connection and lose my browser and everything.
Ooh.
Just restarted it. It was okay.
Okay. I've just restarted.
Yeah.
That was a good sound.
Yeah. This is just
How's it
going.
going?
This is going great. This will definitely get us some viewers. John, you're frozen again, by the way.
When he's frozen, do we still get his audio?
No, I don't think we do. Oh, he's BRB.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
There we go. Sweet.
It's going to be.
So, in the meantime, Bernard, do you want to talk to us about your toffee apple, man?
Well, it's a sad story actually because it has recently been lost to the ceiling when I got a fright. Went straight up.
Oh, is that what happened to it?
Mm-hmm.
I did wonder.
Yeah, and it got stuck on the ceiling.
So, do you not have the skill to get it down?
Well,
Prestidigitation.
would that work? No, that would make a fake one.
True.
If you made enough fake ones and you stacked them, you could knock the real one off the top of the roof, right?
Illusion of something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I love your logic in this. It's
It's good. It's sound
never
logic.
ceases. Yeah.
But if
if
you do need a mage hand,
Yeah.
just let me know.
okay,
Ben's got a greasy one.
that's the move, right? Like the stranger.
I'm intrigued, Finn, that you're offering help to Shannon to get his his toffee apple off the roof, but you're not offering Oust help. You know, your long-standing friend, buddy, partner in crime, and you're just like, oh, the toffee apple's more interesting.
It's not that it's more interesting, but it's a little more moralistic. Helping someone get their
I'm trying
toffee
to
apple
free
back.
someone from captivity here.
Okay, hopefully that is all good now.
I need to restart everything.
My speed test. I just completely closed Chrome and restarted it. My speed test is, come on. Oh yeah, I'm doing like 40 down.
That's all right.
That sounds reasonable, man.
That's pretty good. For video, that's fine.
Mind you, it depends. How quality is your voice? Is your voice like 39?
Okay.
Let's just have a
my-
D&D
yeah,
session
I'm
about
doing-
like IT
doing about
issues.
7 or 8 up. So that should be totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that should be fine.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's
Alright, let's
get
Dicey.
Dicey.
Get into characters,
we're going to
Ron.
take this in order a little bit. We're going to start with Bernard. Bernard, you had something that you wanted to do.
Well, yeah, last time, I was going to do this last time, but it was running late, and I figured I don't want to take away from the actual mission, which was happening over here with the colon.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just going to cast Polymorph onto this owlbear.
What?
What does polymorph do?
Changes it into something else?
And change it into another creature.
Into a colon?
You can-
I could change it into gold.
Also, John, Brad again just gave us 100 bits just to keep your internet going. Okay, so please. So I believe if it fails, we have to give him double. I think that's how it works.
Okay. Well, if my internet stops going, then I'm really sorry.
Yeah.
I'll feed bits to like whatever controls my internet.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like where you're going with this, Shannon. This is interesting.
So Shannon, so you are casting polymorph. What are you attempting to do with your polymorph?
I'm going to turn it into a baby owlbear.
I can free a baby owlbear. Yeah. Awesome.
Why
I
are
love
you
the way
feeding
it'll hit
his?
the mind of an adult. Big a little body just raging out.
Why are you feeding David's craziness?
And what's the thing? Is it like a?
They have to make. Well, an unwilling creature must make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
I'm not sure owlbears have great wisdom.
It might. Really
Okay,
low
let me just look
intelligence.
up the Albia stats. I did know that you were going to do this, and I did nothing to prepare. So okay, here we go. Flipping through rule books. time-honored tradition. Okay.
Yeah,
So if he's unwilling to have magic cast on him of an unknown origin, he attempts to make a wisdom save. And what's the DC?
17.
Oh, good luck with that.
Okay,
Owlbears
so you
don't
see
sound
this.
too wise.
So you see this kind of the owlbear looking around, looking left and right, begins to see like this kind of magical weave begin to kind of flow around it, and it starts to get quite skittish and quite scared, and attempts to resist. The polymorph rolls a 4 total,
Oh,
and so is transformed into a hatchling.
like just like a little tiny, like a baby one.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cute.
Basically like a week old or something as well.
Does it have the mind of a baby, or is it?
Can't
Sorry?
hear you, Reagan.
Oh, does it have the mind of a baby or not?
That's a good question. I was looking it up.
I think it's a shape changing spell, right? Not an intellect changing
Point
spell.
of the newsborn. The target's game statistics, including mental ability scores, are replaced by the statistics of the child.
Oh, it's a baby.
Oh.
Yay, it's a
Really?
baby.
And personality.
Awesome.
Okay, so
It's
in
a
all
Frenchie, Gabba.
respects, it is a baby. And how long does it last for?
Keeps the same personality though. An hour.
An hour.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
god.
all I
fantastic.
need. That's all I need.
Where's the bag of holding?
Yes!
You see this tiny, albeit furious, owlbear that looks. It's now like its fury seems
Grumpy
incredibly
baby.
cute to you as it's kind of like,
Adorable.
but it's so small that even you, like it's smaller than you now.
Yeah, it seemed like how big is an albie? Did you decide if they come out of eggs or are they born live birth?
Yeah, this is a hatchling, so it does come out of an egg, but it's like pretty fresh out of
Is
a.
it still in the nest?
It's
Because I wanna
the
be able to
age that would
hold
be pretty
nest.
fresh out of an egg. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I guess like they would have like a nice nest when they would sit in.
Yeah, it's not like in a nest at the moment because it's in an enclosure which is kind of set up like its natural habitat, like trees
Okay.
and things around it.
Actually, it wouldn't have a nest because it wasn't actually a baby, was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I got carried away there.
You can press the digitation and nest in there.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Just do it, man. I love it how how Igneous is telling the wizard how to use his magic.
True.
Okay, none of you are there, so none of you are telling the wizard anything.
That's right. That's right.
Bernard, so you see this tiny owlbear who's still like trying to beat down the glass in this enclosure with its tiny claws, but now it's all the patrons that are in there are just kind of like pointing and laughing and like, oh, it's so cute.
That's so cool.
Well, I think I can see through the back that there's a door back there, right?
Yeah, you can see like what appears to be a zookeeper's door between like the brush and the trees and things.
Okay, I'm going to go back out the way I came over here. And I'm going to attempt to walk up this way, but I don't know what's going on around here. But my plan is to go have a look through this door.
Are you going to free the owlbear for me? That would be awesome.
Not necessarily. I don't know what you guys are doing.
Oh, okay.
So this here is a flat surface, but you can see up here there's a door that you believe would probably lead to the back of the enclosures, and you can see a footpath kind of heading towards it. But as you kind of get here, you can see Aust and Finn, who are transfixed on something inside of this room here.
Okay.
And with that, I think we'll swap over to them.
Yep.
Finn just sort of like notices Bernard is like, okay, like isn't sure what to focus on now. Yeah, Finn's just going to look up at Aust and be like, dude, he looks fine. Yeah.
He's not fine. He's in captivity. That's not fine.
He's eating like a two-handed ice cream. That thing looks it's almost bigger than I am.
And as you were saying that, he like takes his big with his long snout and like takes the top off, and then he's like, oh.
So John, these guards still got their pikes pointed at me, because I remember that last time they had
you both have.
we're pretty much
pikes
at standoff, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think it's at this point that the zookeeper kind of turns around, and Colin finally spies you guys, and he kind of looking up from his ice cream, sees you, Oust, and kind of gives you a coy sort of quite shy wave. But yeah, you've got these kind of twin pikes pointed at you, and you've got these swords pointed at you, and the guards kind of say, "What are you doing here?"
All right. Us is just going to sort of step bravely forward, kind of pushing the pikes down. So with hands still on the sword, it's just going to walk towards him, but pushing the pikes down. It's like, right, just let's just put these down, boys. There's no need to be aggressive here. I'm actually here to talk to Colin.
Okay, cool. So what are you doing with your swords?
So I've still got my swords in my
swords
hand.
into their necks?
No, so I'm just going to pull my swords back and just with my swords in my hand, just kind of push. So swords pointing that way. I'm just going to, with the back of my hands, push their pikes away from Finn and myself.
Okay.
And then just walk towards them and say, right, let's put these down, and put my swords back in there and push them away. So let's put these down. There's no need to be aggressive. I'm actually just here to talk to Colin.
Okay. Make a strength check.
Strength?
Yeah.
Fudge.
First roll of the night. Here we go.
Dun, 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 dun.
Animation, first roll of the night.
Yay, it's a 13.
Plus what?
That was just a strength save, so it's just 9 plus 4. Or do you want me to maybe roll a strength?
Sorry,
strength?
so it's 13 total. Okay.
Yeah, 13 total.
Okay, so as you go to kind of push these things away, you aren't able to, and they're still pointed, like there's two pikes pointed at you, so even though you've been trying to push them away, they kind of, not like dig into you, but they become pressed against you as you...
Clearly I'm going to stop walking. I'm not going to do the whole, way to pay on me, look at how strong I am.
You're not going to Khal Drogo it?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so clearly they're not going to put their pikes down. I was like, guys, come on, I'm not here to fight or anything. I just want to talk to Colin, if that's okay. I talked to him last night, and he said he wanted some freedom, and I just want to clarify his situation now, because clearly it looks like the situation has changed.
They look over their shoulder. One of them looks over their shoulder and says, "Is this true, Colin? Did you talk to this man last night?"
I'm going to look at him very, very, very sternly, like within kind of a don't lie or I'm going to be pissed kind of look.
Go ahead and roll intimidation.
Oh, crap. Why do you make me roll these things? Come on.
Because of what you described.
I know. 9. It's not very good.
That's not very intimidating.
So he
I'm
kind
not
of
intimidated.
he kind of goes. Just very slowly and meticulously nods his head.
Did you see that, Finn?
Sure.
Back
Yeah,
to
yeah.
respect to his ice cream.
Finn saw it.
And they turn back to you, Oust, and they say, "Well, this is off. This area is off limits to the public."
I'm not just the public.
Yeah, you are.
Do you know who I am?
No. Do you know who I am?
No, you're nobody. You're a guard.
Yeah, I'm the guard of the zoo that you're in.
Alright, Finn's just gonna be just like Oust, like I'm
Finn, stay.
I'm getting out of here before this escalates. I'm gonna go see what Bernard's up to. He's like just back here.
Backstabbing little.
And with that, Finn just kind of like takes a couple of steps, sort of like backs away.
Okay, are you saying anything else before we switch over to Ignace?
I was just gonna say, okay, fine. You're the guards. We're here now. Can I just talk to Colin for a matter of minutes, and then I'm out?
Roll persuasion.
Also, something that I'm not so good at, but it's all good.
Oh, are you?
Oh! 20. Again, you're just a guard. Yeah, like Deva says.
Okay, so I think with this, seeing your kind of finery and the fact that your sword's like one is basically a flame and the other one is like producing this emanating cold feeling, they kind of look over at the zookeeper, who's like, all right, and the three of them get up and they go, "You've got 5 minutes," and they go outside to wait.
Yeah.
Okay, but we'll leave it there for now. Iggy and Dora, what are you up to?
Oh, lovely. So, Igneous has just finished listening to Doorcracker explain herself and where she's all at and how she's feeling and how cool she is. And Igneous is just going to ask her, so, whereabouts do you live? How can I get in contact with you once we've saved the world?
She says, "Well, I'm based out of Neverwinter. That's where I said I was going to meet my family."
Igneous is going to look at her suspiciously and be like, "Winter happens every year."
She's like, Iggy.
You dumb piece of shit.
I know you might not have been there before. Maybe one day you'll visit.
Is it like this zoo here? Is it?
It's kind of similar to Luskan. It's not like the zoo. It's just south of here. It's on the coast. Have you been to Waterdeep?
No.
Okay. It's very similar to that, but that won't really help if you don't have a frame of reference.
Have you been to Cragnol?
I have been to Cragnol, yes. It's nothing like Cragnol.
Oh. Okay.
It's if you haven't been to any of the cities on the coast here, it's lovely. It's very similar to Luskan without all the pirates and such.
That sounds lovely.
Less pirates.
So Igneous is just going to chew the fat and chat to Dora for the next X period of time.
Okay. Cool. We'll go back to Bernard. Oh, we'll do Bernard and Finn if you're with him now, Finn.
Yes, effectively I saw Bernard walking past. Finn's kind of backed away from this and is just casually hey, so Bernard, what's happening? What's going on?
Oh, dude, you missed out on my smooth talking.
Hey Finn, how's it going? What are you guys doing? Are you in the doorway there?
Alistair's he's trying to convince these guards to, that he spent some time with Colin. Turns out Colin's real. I don't know if I mentioned that before. And then I worry that his next move is going to be to try somehow to get one of these owlbears. But what are you up to?
Well, speaking of owlbears, I've just seen an owlbear.
Okay.
In this implosion. I think we can get to it from this back door.
Why would we want to get to an owlbear?
Well, it's a surprising owlbear. It's not what you expect.
Okay.
All
right. And you think we can get to it back here?
I reckon because this is the back door where the I was going to call them rangers. Well, like zookeepers go.
Right.
Yeah.
Why do we want to get one?
Well, once you see it, I think you'll know.
Okay. All right.
Oh, Bernard, I love this.
All right. Maybe they're not as Finn's thinking. Okay, well maybe they're not as ferocious as he was led to believe. Maybe they're okay.
Yeah, not what
right. I mean, if he's basically looking at Bernard and he's thinking, if Bernard's happy to go off and find this thing.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, maybe an owl. Maybe it's the opposite of what Finn was thinking. Finn was thinking it was an owl the size of a bear that would be as ferocious as a bear. But maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's a bear that's as tiny and as adorable as an owl. That's what Finn is now thinking.
Yeah, I think you might be on the right track.
Yeah, okay, cool. Okay.
But like, should we check out this door?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Let's do it.
Because you can get into doors, right? I can't. Well, not.
Okay. Can we just check this door, John?
Oh, you should check if it's actually locked first.
Yeah. John's frozen, I think. He's
Or-
looking very serious though.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Oh no, you're back. He's back. He's back.
Jared.
Oh.
Oh no, he jumped off the last time.
Uh,
You're just lucky Alst isn't hearing this conversation, Finn, because he'd be pissed that you're believing the gnome over
wait,
him.
he was so confident. Why would he be so confident
Since
about?
when is Alst ever not confident?
Here we
I know,
go.
but have you seen Bernard's size? That's
I'm
like,
going to show you this.
So it's a sizes thing, right?
We're already in the zoo.
yeah.
We're getting into the zoo, which is the hard part.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Can we check the door? And yes,
Yeah, so you give the door a little jiggle, and it appears to be locked.
okay, all right. Okay, well, Finn's gonna use his lockpick. So he's gonna like look at. Can he see any of these guards anywhere around? Are we looking like conspicuous?
So the two guards down here are kind of talking to the zookeeper, muttering something that you can't quite pick up
Right. Okay.
at the moment, but they're not like facing you or anything.
Okay. Cool. All right. All right. So I'm just gonna use my lockpicks. I'm just gonna pull out the lockpicks and give it a go.
Sure. Roll your lock picking.
Yeah. How do I?
Is this the first time you've used your lockpicks?
Yeah, I think it is the first time. I don't know if I've got. What do I roll?
It'll be the same as your sleight of hand.
Oh right. Okay, I can do that. That's easy. Let's give it a go. 22.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Plus 12.
Jeepers
Yeah,
creepers.
Yeah.
So you kind of you pop in your tools and you just kind of mess around with them for a little bit. It's a fairly simple lock, and it's just like click, and yeah, the lock kind of frees up, and the door begins to swing freely.
Yeah. Perfect. And he's just
Cool.
kind of like, after you.
That was. I'm suitably impressed. By
Okay.
that.
Good.
That's smooth. Okay. Yeah. I'll come through here. What's this door look like?
This door is kind of like got a little window, a little grill in the top of it, and you can't actually see the owlbear through it, but you can see like the back end of the trees that you were seeing. But there's kind of quite dense foliage. There's a little bit of a path that you can see where zookeepers would go in and provide food. And
Oh, so we can see in it.
yeah,
How
you
big
can
is
see
the
in
door?
through this kind of middle grate. How big is the door?
How big is this door? Yeah.
It's probably about 4 or 5 feet across.
Right. And so Finn's just looking at Bernard and is like, dude, this is the entrance for this thing, right? Like, this is how they put. This is a big door for something that you're so nonchalantly excited about. Like,
Yeah, that's great. I actually went to a real zoo in real life once, and I forgot to feed a lion, and that scared the shit out of me. You put the meat on your hand and push it up against the grill.
right.
You don't put your fingers in.
No, lose those, yeah.
No, Bernard does seem pretty happy about this, and he's giving little giggles to himself every now and again.
Something's up. Finn's just like, what's happening? What is this? What's going on?
Yeah, this is the best owlbear I've ever seen. All right, I want to check the door. I guess, is it locked, or is it a slide lock, or?
Yeah. So there's a little like handle, like a metal handle that you'd find on like a screen door or something, and you go to push it down, and it kind of it goes with no resistance. It appears to be unlocked.
So this door is just unlocked. Okay.
Main lock was over here, I guess.
Okay.
We're getting an owlbear.
But I want to open. That's how the raptors open it in Jurassic Park as well. Okay, I'm just going to open it and walk in and
And
say,
Finn's just kind of like, quietly looking around the edge. Wait a minute, like this.
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
I want to wrangle this thing, this tiny owlbear, and I want to appear back at the door if possible, with a baby owlbear in my extended hands.
Okay, so
Into
I
it.
think I think what we'll do is we'll swap back to Alice for a moment here.
It's a crucial moment.
Because there's a couple of things to resolve.
Okay.
Yeah. So Alice, what do you say to Colin? You're alone in this room with Colin.
I got 5 minutes
who
with him, right?
Looks very solemn, very sorry for himself. But he's got a huge ice cream. So it's hard to take anything he's doing seriously as he continues to slowly lap at it.
All right. So the first thing I'm going to just say to Colin is, so Colin, I see you've got some ice cream there. This is different to what you told me last night. Last night you told me that they treated you badly and that you wanted freedom. You look pretty comfortable right now.
They don't normally give me ice cream. This was a treat.
What for? What did you do that gave you a treat?
I don't know. Maybe because maybe because I tried to escape. That doesn't seem right. Why would they reward that behavior?
Yeah, I'm seeing this process through your brain and beginning to wonder the same thing. Anyway, so as you can see, Colin, I've come back to free you because I promised to free you last night and that went horribly wrong. So I've come back with my friends who have gone somewhere else, but I've come back with my friends to free you. Are you still keen on escaping and getting out?
Where we go?
Home.
After here.
After here, you go to your home. I'll take you home, or you can come with me. It's up to you. It's your choice. But I can't leave you here. It goes against everything in my moral being to leave you as a captive. I cannot have that on my conscience.
I don't understand conscience. But he's tapping his chin and he's like takes another big lick of the ice cream.
You can bring the ice cream too if you want. That's fine.
Go ahead and roll persuasion.
Oh dear. I don't know why I bother.
I don't know why.
Neither do I. Why do I bother? 8.
He's like, look, Aust. I think I was a little bit hasty last night. Sometimes they give me ice cream.
Sometimes.
Sometimes
As
today.
in once? Like first time ever?
This has happened before.
Oh, Colin.
You're not the first person to try to come and free Colin.
Oh, so you've done this before.
Everybody knows that you shouldn't have a sentient creature in a zoo.
Alf is just really just holding his hands in his head. His head is the hands. He's just not impressed with this feeble-minded thing. So, simple question, Colin. Do you want to be free, or do you want to stay in the zoo? Because I'm happy to make either happen. Just you might not be happy with the result.
He says, I
Look at
think for now I stay.
Uh-oh. Man, what's happening in your house there, Dave? Your dog is like chewing something, or?
No, that's not me.
Oh, okay. Wasn't sure.
Because I'm hearing it too. It's not me.
Okay.
Dog's sitting here. Let me see. Dog's just waiting. Dog's just watching.
What
Okay,
dog is it then? It's doing like a snorting pig sound.
Oh, that'll be him breathing.
Right.
Breathing.
If he's,
Yes.
Breathing.
if he's sniffing or. But he's perfectly quiet right now.
Okay.
So I don't know what you guys are hearing. Anyway, so Alistair's just gonna walk. I'm just gonna walk. Take a few steps back from where I am, and stand at the door. I'm going to. Alistair's sort of, as this conversation has gone on, the very brief conversation, Alistair's just gotten kind of annoyed because he's basically spent a good couple of days, or a good hour and a half or so, trying to convince his friends to come here to rescue this thing. He's now just thrown the rescue in his face after basically all this kind of shit. So he's really quite not happy, I guess is about the best way to put it. And yeah, so Alistair's just gonna get his bow, pull out an arrow, point it at Colin, and very quietly, very, very calmly say, Colin, I didn't risk my life or my friend's life to leave we're here without you. You have a choice. You can come with me on your own free will, or you can leave in ashes.
Oh my god.
Alistair's not happy.
I think
This is why Finn turned around.
I think when you draw the bow and you train it on him, he kind of puts his hand up and he says, "What are you doing, Aust?" And then you deliver your line. And he says, I'll come.
Good.
I don't want to die.
Good.
Did he drop his ice cream at that point? He's still holding
Yeah, he
it.
dropped his ice cream.
Oh no.
Oh no, that's a shame. The poor little thing.
There's an enormous ice cream in the dirt.
That's like what happens when you go to the zoo.
Yeah, there's always a kid that drops their ice cream in the dirt and spends the rest of the afternoon crying about it.
When they get threatened to be murdered.
Oh my
The
god.
parents are like, "You're coming or else." Right, so
Not usually with a bow and arrow. Not usually with that.
okay. So Alistair's just going to ask. In fact, no longer. We're not asking Colin to do anything. We're telling Colin to do things now. So he's going to get Colin to come over beside me.
Okay, yep. Colin steps forward,
And-
squishing the cold ice cream between his toes as he steps over towards you.
I
This
hope
enormous soft serve.
I hope you guys are ready to run, because we're about to leave the zoo. So casting my lightning bolt spell.
Lightning arrow.
My lightning arrow spell. Yep, casting my lightning arrow spell. I'm going to turn my bolt into the lightning, and I'm going to fire at this wall here. See that one there? I want to blast a hole into that wall, so we can escape.
Okay. Cool. So looking, like, just so you know, from information that Aust has, there's a solid stone wall behind, like, the corner of this room. So there's a room that you're in,
Yeah.
which is largely, like, the walls are made of wood.
Mm-hmm.
But then beyond that, to kind of outside the zoo,
Yeah.
is like a stone wall that's maybe a few feet thick, and I think I said last time it was 15 foot high, and then I was thinking about that the other day, and that seems ridiculously high. It's probably about 10 feet high,
Okay.
which is still quite high, but it's a
Still
zoo.
quite high. Yeah, it's a zoo. So would I know how much damage? Like, if I fire my lightning bolt, am I likely to know that it would make a hole in the wall, or am I going to have to do it again? Given I've got one shot before people come running.
Like, the information that you have is it's a solid stone wall. You know that your lightning can cause quite a lot of damage.
Okay.
But I guess, like, roll Arcana to see if you know whether or not
okay.
you can blow it up.
Yeah. All right. I'm almost clever enough to understand shit.
Oh, that's a good roll.
17.
Yeah. So you're like outside chance, like maybe.
Okay. I'll change
Like, you
my
might-
aim. Knowing that, I'm going to change my aim and just aim at the back wall. Because I have so basically as soon as I fire, and only if you allow me to do this, as soon as I fire my arrow, I'm going to cast my pass without trace spell, so we can basically essentially keep moving and hide. Yeah, that's my plan. So I'm going to fire the arrow, blow the hole in the wall, cast my pass without trace, and we're just going to sneak out before anyone
this
comes
wall.
around. The back wall, yeah.
The
So
back
just-
wall is in that one.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. Cool. And then you're going to cast Pass Without Trace, and then what are you doing?
Basically, we're going to leave through the hole that explosion creates, So we're going to run out or dash out there and then hide, sort of sneak out the hole and kind of just hide up against, sort of sneak down the wall and walk down here, sneaky until we get to the entrance.
Okay. Cool. Go ahead and roll to hit with the lightning arrow.
Okay, here it comes.
Mr. Wall. Mr. Wall.
It's a 10. Damn it.
Okay, so it's not quite the broad side of a barn, but it is
It's a fairly
effectively
big.
a barn.
It's a wall.
So you managed to hit it. This was just more like what sort of impact it might have.
Yeah.
Roll the damage for your lightning arrow.
So that was. Oh, crikey, what is that? Hang on. Sorry. 48. Okay. Sorry. Oops, too many. $16, so total of 20. Well, yeah, 16 plus 10, I guess, is 26.
Yeah, so you line up this arrow, and it just like goes streaking out from your bow, turning into lightning on the way there, and just makes contact with the wall and just absolutely destroys it. Creates a huge hole in the back of this wall. Before you run out and cast Pass Without Trace, we'll switch back over to Igneous, who's you've just heard this massive like crash from where your friends went.
Does this sound magic in nature, or does it just sound more like thunder?
It sounds like an explosion.
Alright. So Igneous is just going to be like, hold it, Toots.
Toots.
And he's just going to grab his knife, and he's just going to start sprinting using dash to head up towards where he last saw his friends as speedy as he can.
Okay. Give you a couple of dashes.
Oh, you way down there.
Yeah.
Because all of that took more than kind of 12 seconds. So I'd say you can get to the source of the noise, and you just see the guards over here and the zookeeper, like all in a kind of panic, and they begin moving towards the door, but they haven't gotten there yet. As you're kind of running, which direction are you running? Are you running towards the sound, or are you running towards them?
As he sees the guards, he's going to shout out, "What happened?"
And they call back and they say, "We don't know. We just left an elf in there with the kobold." And they start making a beeline for the door, basically.
Okay.
What do you do?
Igneous is going to follow them because he's going to help them because they're obviously sweet helper guys.
Sweet helper guys. I love it.
So they arrive at the door, but with that, we'll go back to the owlbear situation.
Oh dear.
Here we go.
So Finn and Bernard. So Bernard, you've stepped inside the enclosure. So there's a dirt track where the zookeepers would often walk through to go in and leave food. It doesn't go a very long way into the enclosure. It's a very kind of short stop.
Just skeletons of zookeepers.
Zookeepers. You did notice some signs in there. Beware ferocious owlbear.
Yeah. Finn's just slowly reaching for like his dagger. Basically, he just wants some sort of weapon in his hand because he's feeling pretty nervous right now.
You both hear the explosion.
Oh, it happened.
As well. So bear that in mind as you take your action. So Bernard, what are you doing?
Well, I'm grabbing a spare shirt out of my backpack.
Okay.
My clothes, and I want to bundle up this little owlbear.
Okay, so you push through the brush. Finn, what are you doing?
I think with he's quite on edge right now. Finn's quite on edge. He doesn't know what Bernard's just walked into, and he hears the explosion, and he's kind of like, he's kind of just like not sure what he should be doing, and he's kind of just frozen at the moment. He knows the explosion came from, well, I guess from the sound has come through this entranceway, so he doesn't know exactly where in the zoo it's come from. But he can only assume it's Aust. He can only assume, and I don't think he knows whether that means Aust's in trouble or if he's causing trouble. But I think the concern is mainly aimed at Bernard at the moment. So he sort of he acknowledges it. He's like, okay, Aust is messing something up, and brings his attention back to Bernard. What can Finn see through the doorway?
Go ahead and make a perception roll.
Sure.
I'm kind of insulted that you just assume Aust is causing trouble.
Of course you
Just
brought us
mildly
here.
insulted.
You brought us here to cause trouble.
And you're not coming running to help me out here. You just...
There's like an owlbear, like a tiny little gnome has gone in to see an owlbear, so I'm a little worried right now. Anyway, 22.
So with the 22, I think what you see as you kind of peer around the corner and look through is you see Bernard's back with his kind of his gnome hat, and he's kind of very slowly, very meticulously creeping forward towards a tiny creature through kind of the brush with this spare piece of clothing. It appears to be a very small bear.
Can I see any other big animal in this enclosure?
You can't see any other big animals at the moment.
Okay.
You just see this one small bear. You don't have like complete vision of what's going on in there. There's a lot of like trees and things like that around. But you do see Bernard like slowly stalking towards this tiny bear-like creature.
Right. Okay. So I think. Yeah.
Try not to giggle.
Yeah. I think I'm just gonna sort of like slowly take a step like into this enclosure as well, and just be like, Bernard, what are you doing?
You just hear like a little giggle.
Okay, let's go over to Bernard now. So Bernard, you're sneaking up on this thing. Are you making yourself known? Are you just trying to like stalking quietly? What are you doing?
Is it looking at me?
It's not facing you. No.
Okay, if that's the case, I will just keep on slowly approaching it with my open cardigan.
Okay.
I'll try and wrap it up.
Okay. Cardigan open. Make me a stealth roll. If you're trying to do this stealth.
Oh, okay. Stealth.
With your cardigan modifier.
I
Get a minus 2 penalty for cardigan.
I have inspiration, so it's Dex, isn't it?
Yep.
Nice.
Is there a gap? I always forget. So I'll use my inspiration. Does that mean I get both?
What was that?
If I use my inspiration, does that mean I get to roll like advantage?
Yeah. So if you use inspiration, you get an advantage, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll roll it twice.
I think your mic just might be a little bit far away from your mouth.
Okay, that's it.
Oh, I think
Yeah,
That's just
sounds
me. Your
like-
internet's
sounds
a
little
bit far
bit
away
like
now.
Oh, my internet's far away. Oh,
There
There
we
we
go.
go. That's better. It sounded like you're underwater for a second.
oh. Okay.
Yeah, it's better.
And 20.
20.
Okay.
Nice.
So you're kind of slowly creeping forward, and you end up like right behind this tiny owlbear that you've transformed. It's probably been like I don't know 5 or 6 minutes since you polymorphed him.
Yep.
Oh, this is brilliant.
But yeah, he does not notice you. You have the drop on him, so
Okay.
go ahead and do whatever you would like to do.
Yeah. Scoop them up in my cardigan and tie up the sleeves.
Scoop him up in your cardigan and tie up the sleeves. So you're making like a bundle
Yeah, like
owlbear.
like you do with a newborn, you know, you
Okay.
Swaddle them.
swaddle, yeah, swaddle this girl.
Oh, nice.
Swaddling the baby owlbear.
Swaddling the owlbear. That's cute.
Sounds
Okay.
like the name of a tavern.
Swaddling the owlbear.
There just might be a tavern called Swaddling the Owlbear. Okay. So you scoop this thing up, and it, like, instantly, as soon as you go to do it, it's like begins to thrash around. But given that you've got the drop on it, you do manage to successfully kind of like swaddle it up before it has a chance to kind of react. So this was your surprise round.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
And so now you're holding this thrashing baby.
But it's tiny, right?
Like to a human size thing,
Yeah.
it would be like pretty small. It's bigger than a human baby.
Is it like the size of a football or smaller? Like a rugby or something?
It's bigger than that. It's like I'd say
Smaller.
imagine like a 8-month-old baby.
Okay.
8 or 9-month-old baby. It's like maybe 1.5 to 2 rugby balls.
But slightly more aggressive.
Yeah, way more aggressive.
Okay.
And that is saying something.
Oh, you're in so much
I
trouble.
want to hug it to my chest. Yeah, with the beak away from my face, and then quickly sort of stumble back over to Finn with a grin on my face.
Okay, you see on the in the enclosure, like, heaps of people, like all the tourists and patrons and things, kind of pointing at you as you scoop up this owlbear.
Nice distraction. Nice distraction, Bennett. Thank you.
And begin running out with it. Yeah, you're carrying this owlbear. Each time at the start of your round, you're going to make a strength check to see if you can hold on to it.
Jesus.
Give it to Finn. He's got great strength.
Oh yeah, I've got the belt on.
It is struggling a lot. I mean, I just want to see your reaction first. If you want to...
So you see basically Finn. You've seen him scoop up this thing, which looked like a tiny, like, what do you call a baby bear?
Cub.
A bear.
It looked like a beer cub, like a very small beer cub. And he scooped it up.
But it's got an owl face, yeah?
And he turns and runs to you, and you just see this, like, owl, this furious owl, like attempting to peck and like do everything it can. It's just struggling, but it's still in the surprise round. So at the start of your next round, there'll be some sort of check to see whether or not you can maintain a hold on it. When you see this, Finn, do you do anything?
So what part of the owlbear can I see? Just the face? Like the rest of it is...
You can see the face and its legs.
And does it have bear legs or does it have owl legs?
It's bear legs.
Okay, and it's just thrashing around ferociously.
It's just thrashing, just trying to get free of the swaddle. But you see, like, Bernard's got it kind of wrapped. Tied,
so the
tied a jacket.
the image of like what how tall are you? 3 foot? Bernard?
Yeah, something like that.
So you're 3 foot. This thing is probably close to like 1.5 feet, right? In size that you're holding onto. I felt taking it, and it's just going nuts with these two little bare feet and a little owl thing just thrashing around. I think Finn is just gonna lose his shit. I think he's just gonna crack up. He's just gonna crack up, and he's just like, he's like, that thing looks incredibly dangerous. What are you doing, Bernard?
It's adorable.
Yeah.
It's a baby owlbear.
Okay. Well, where are his parents? Why have they got just a baby?
There isn't one. It's like he's an orphan.
This is why Alice wanted to free him.
Well, I think that's what Finn's thinking. He's thinking, well, okay, well, Alst obviously knew that they were holding just like a a baby thing, a baby owlbear. I was like, they're not as like it's as angry as I thought it would be. It's not as big as I thought it would be. So that's
It's probably going to be a big attraction for the zoo, but if we give this to Oust, then it will imprint on him, and he'll be able to raise it as his own
right.
baby.
How long do these things take to grow?
About now.
They grow.
Yeah, and so none of the characters apart from Bernard know that this is a polymorphed
Yeah.
owlbear. You all think it's a baby, or like
Yeah.
Finn, you're the only one that's met it. You believe it to be an owlbear cub.
So we're just gonna go give that to Oust.
If you feed it, it will just raise. You'll raise it as your own.
All right. I'm just so.
Right around
Do you think if we feed it, it'll calm down a little bit?
Probably not.
I'm just gonna try it anyway. I'm just gonna pull out of my satchel like a fire giant finger,
Okay.
Oh, brilliant.
because I've still got like 10 fire giant fingers in my sack. I don't know if Bernard's seen these or if this is confusing him at all. But I'm gonna pull out a fire giant finger and I'm just gonna kind of like wave it near the owlbear's mouth.
It's like so it reaches out in its beak and just snaps this up and kind of pulls back and top.
Yeah,
Barely
likes
even
fire
like
giant.
it doesn't even like chew or anything. It's just like guzzling it down.
Yeah. Okay. All right. We've got a few more if it needs them. So, all right.
It's still thrashing, but we'll swap back over to Oust
All right.
and Colin.
Alston Collins. So,
So the guards are there now as
Okay.
you begin to run
so
away.
I guess while we're running, we're kind of, I guess we're bolting for the door, but also whilst doing so, Elsa's cast Pass Without Trace. So that kind of gives us, when we're finally out of sight, a +10 on our sneaky hidey thingies. So
Yep.
essentially, right now I'm basically just going to grab Colin, because I really don't have time to explain, and we're just going to bolt through the hole to these
Yep.
trees here, so we can kind of hide. So at that point, as soon as we get to the trees, we're just going to kind of hide as best we can to make it look like we've disappeared.
Okay.
Maybe
So you can
so if we can get to these trees as quickly as possible, that would be great.
So you can get out of the room
Yeah.
in this turn
Okay.
and cast your Pass Without Trace,
Okay, so we'll do that, and then
or you can dash to here.
Ooh.
You can make the choice between whether or not you make it down to here, but you can't cast Pass Without Trace, or you can get to just outside the room and
So-
you can.
With my leveling up, I gained
Oh, your bonus action dash.
well, I've got bonus action dash because I've got that at 8th level because I got that fleet of foot. But at
Okay.
10th level, I get hide in plain sight.
Okay. What does hide in plain sight do?
So basically, when I attempt to hide on my turn, you can opt not to move. If avoiding to move, creatures that attempt to detect you take a minus 10 penalty to their wisdom or perception checks.
Wow.
So basically, it means that if I decide to stand still, I pretty much can't be seen.
Okay, so taking the hiding though will cost you an action.
Yeah, and
So
obviously Kobold
you could-
won't hide as well, which is my problem. So I guess if I dash using dash is a bonus action.
Yeah, so you can actually dash to here roughly, like
Yeah.
pick between these trees or behind this shrub,
Okay.
and also cast Pass Without Trace because of
Okay.
your ranger abilities.
All right. So if we run to this, actually no, let's run to here because it's between the shrub and the wall. So we'll get to there, and then we'll go Pass Without Trace, and basically we'll freeze for a bit just to let the commotion die down because, then I'm gonna sort of work out what my next move.
Okay. Cool.
So we're dashing to here, and I'm gonna expect Kobold to follow me.
Yeah, so you're kind of pulling him along.
Yeah. That's kind of the plan. Oh man, it's really hard to move when the dog's lying on your arm.
Okay.
Yeah, cool, thank you.
Okay, so you get there and you cast Pass Without Trace
Yeah.
on yourself and on Colin.
Well,
I'm assuming.
as long as he's within 30 feet of me, it kind of
Okay.
works.
Oh right. Okay.
So it kind of creates like
So
a.
this shroud of like kind of bending light and muffled noise falls within a 30-foot radius of you. And everything, like every twig that you step on, the sound is muted somewhat. It's still audible, but it's like
A lot harder.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to understand what exactly that was.
Cool.
So it's the guards' turn, and they kind of see you bolt out of the room. They like, halt, and they run. They are going to dash.
It's a hard life, honestly.
Where is Wolf at the moment?
Actually, I'm not. I don't. Wolf didn't come to the zoo with us.
You were hassling me the other day that I didn't take Alpha everywhere.
Wolf came, but I don't think Wolf was. Oh, yeah, Wolf is out there, so Wolf isn't actually with me.
Wolf was out with Agnes.
Okay.
Yeah, Wolf has kind of been just hanging outside. He got left behind.
So the guards and the zookeeper kind of run through the room, run out here, and they go out into the trees, and they're kind of looking up in the trees, like prodding them with their pipes, like just kind of looking around. They're like, Colin! Go ahead and roll your stealth.
Alright. Stealthy. Oops, goddamn stealthy. 11 plus 10 is 21.
Oh, that's right. I was like, uh-oh.
I heard that giggle first. Like, oh, dear.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Back to Igneous. So Igneous, you've just seen these guards pop out of the room. They're calling for Colin, and kind of pointing their spears into the trees. What do you do?
Igneous is going to look to Doorcracker and be like, can you discern anything that's happening here?
She's like, I have no idea what's going on. That sounded like thunder, didn't it?
Igneous is going to shout over to the guards poking at the trees and be like, do you want help with your tree poking?
They're like, the Kobo, he's been stolen.
What?
Colin, Kobo. And then they go back to the tree poking.
But Igneous is just going to slowly sort of wander in the direction, sort of a little bit confused as to what he should be doing and how to help. And he's just going to yell out, Finn, Bernard, Aust! Oh, there's the wolf! What are we doing?
Okay.
Okay, does he hear any reply?
Can we hear him? Or?
Yeah.
I think for you guys, probably you wouldn't be able to hear him
Okay.
from where you are at the moment.
What is Sasha doing? Just kidding.
Sasha's just like looking left and right, like, what the fuck is going on here?
Alright, cool.
Sounds about right.
Okay. So, Alst, you don't call back or anything?
Hell no!
Okay.
I'm standing as still and quietly as elvenly possible.
Which is pretty still.
Okay.
Exactly.
Igneous, anything else you want to do?
He's just going to look confused for a while.
Dora does nothing either. Okay, back to Bernard and Finn. So, Bernard, can you please make a strength check?
Oh no.
This baby owlbear is going to escape and come hooning out of this thing.
I reckon you should hold it.
Well, I mean, well,
Come on, Finn, man up.
Well, Bernard has to do his roll first, and then
Yeah.
we can discuss that.
Hey!
Okay, you're good.
Oh, that's a pretty
You don't
strong
have
no.
You don't have any penalties to...
Just a 0.
Okay.
Oh,
nice.
wow, that's awesome.
Okay, that's a good roll.
That's quite strong for a wizard. Okay.
Yeah.
So he thrashes around, but you notice that he's starting to get a little bit tired.
He's getting sleepy.
Yeah, he's getting
Nap time.
sleepy. Like his thrashing begins to kind of like be these kind of like obviously still annoyed, but you can kind of tell he's in the throes of like he can't really resist at least for right now.
He's had a big fire giant finger. He's
That's good.
happy time.
Yeah, it's nappy time. What are you doing, Finn and Bernard?
Well, I reckon I'll say like, let's I don't know what that noise was,
Yeah.
but I'm sure something's happened.
It'll be oust. I
But
think.
we should find. Oh, you think so?
Yeah, it'll be oust.
Well, we should find Oust and give him this great owlbear because he's gonna
Okay.
love that.
I know he's gonna love it.
I'll be stoked. Yeah.
All right, so Finn just sort of makes his way out pretty with a bit of haste in his mind, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, what sort of distance is that actually? So that would be basically dashing.
I can
So
move.
you've got a bonus action to dash.
Yeah.
How far can you move?
Me or
Yeah.
Finn.
Yeah, you.
I can move a little bit further than normally it's 25 feet, but I can move 35 feet because I have a transmuted stone that adds 10 feet of speed.
Okay,
It's part of my wizardy thing. At 6th level, I get a stone.
nice.
Cool. Okay, you can get to about where you are now.
You kind of come really well prepared, eh, Bernard?
Yeah, that's right. With the little legs.
Okay. Finn, actually, I think probably you as well, Bernard. As you both kind of pop out or you get near the door,
Mhm.
you hear, "Guards! Guards! They've stolen the baby owlbear!"
Oh, no.
And you see, Finn, you actually see patrons pouring out of the nocturnal enclosure and kind of pointing in your guys' direction and trying to call the guards.
Hey Finn, thanks for the distraction, man. Top work, you two.
Okay, I'm not going to wake this baby.
Couldn't have planned
Just got it to sleep.
Couldn't have planned it better for myself, really.
Okay. So we'll say that you neither of you have taken your action yet. What are you doing? Are you holding on to the owlbear, Bernard? Are you? What's that?
Well, I'm still holding on to it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to have a nap, isn't it?
Well, it didn't manage to struggle free from you last turn, but it is still awake. It was just like not very effective in kicking its way out.
It's like going on a buggy walk to start to get sleepy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna, Finn. What do you want to do? Do you want to like get out of here? Because we still got to get that thunder lizard.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Why are you helping? Why are you suddenly so interested in helping Alice to get his...
Oh, yes. I've got my new favourite short person. It's
Like-
fantastic.
I thought leaving Alst and hanging out with you was the safer option.
Well,
Oh, Finn.
we came here for a reason.
Oh, this is brilliant.
Oh my gosh.
What do you want to do? Do you want to leave or do you want to get the thunder lizard?
I want to get out of here. We shouldn't be causing trouble.
Okay.
The thunder lizard's on the way.
Oh my gosh.
Well, okay. Well, I'll say that I will see you at the docks, maybe? Or do...
Okay.
Or do... I'll tell you, I'm just going to go, can you climb?
Can I climb? Yeah, I could.
You reckon you can climb that wall here?
How big is this? 10 foot, and I'm
10 foot
yeah.
wall.
I reckon I could do it.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll see you on the other side of that wall, and I'll just point at the wall there. And then I'm going to cast Dimension Door. And then go to the other side of the wall.
Oh, this is fantastic.
What does your dimension door look like?
Well, look at my magic wand.
Yay!
This just lives in my house, by the way.
He
Pull out
just
my
has a
magic
wand.
wand. Like, struggling with a baby owlbear. And I just want to cast it just look like an actual door.
Okay.
And I'll open
Does
it.
it
and
appear?
walk
Does
through
it appear in front of you, below you, like?
Oh yeah, just in front of me, at leisurely distance, so I can. And as I walk towards it, I want it to open up and I can see the outside, past the, if possible, see beyond the wall.
Yeah. So as this kind of wooden door appears as if out of nowhere in front of the other door, Finn, you see the opposite side of it, but as it opens, you see Bernard on the other side. But as he steps through, Bernard, you're seeing like beyond the fence, beyond the wall,
Beyond the Thunderdome.
beyond the Thunderdome. And he's stepping through this thing. You just see him where he was, kind of this form. As he steps through the arch of the door, he just completely disappears. And then the door closes behind him.
Right.
And then that door disappears as well.
Oh,
Right.
Finn, you've been left
So
by yourself, mate.
You and the owlbear are outside of the thing. So we'll call that there for you.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Finn, what are you doing?
Shit. Okay, he's just gonna call out, Bernard, catch this, and he's just gonna tell Madrid to shoot itself over the fence, basically to create a rope for me to climb up and get over the fence.
What's Madrid?
Madrid is my magic rope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
gonna
So
pull Bernard
Madrid
back over the
shoots out over the wall. Bernard, you see this, like you're holding this owlbear baby that's still struggling, and you see this rope kind of land in front of you, kind of flaccid. What do you do?
It's always flaccid.
It's not your 9 o'clock.
It's
So, hey.
always flaccid, this right? I'm going to cast Mage Hand.
Okay.
And my cantrip, and just I do have Mage Hand, and I'll get it to tie up. Is there anything to tie it to?
It's kind of like an empty field. You can try to hold on to it, but there's nothing obvious to tie it to.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Especially while you're like trying to hold an
Yeah, that's why I
owlbear.
want to use Mage Hand, so I've got a third hand.
Oh,
So there's no trees or anything like that.
there's no trees on the outside of this, and like around you.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm just gonna yell out. There's nothing to tie it to.
Just hold on to it. And he goes, Madrid, grab on. And
Okay.
So basically, asking Madrid just to wrap itself around Bernard's foot.
Okay.
good.
So you feel this rope, which was flaccid, just begin to wrap
That
itself
always
around,
starts.
coil itself around your ankle.
Yeah.
And Mage Hand is holding onto one bit as the other end is kind of coiling around.
Gosh. Okay.
Right. And so I'm gonna one end's over the air, the other end's on my side. Finn is basically just gonna start climbing up the wall using Madrid as kind of like a rappelling rope.
Yeah. So the side that you're on is turgid and erect.
Yeah. Solid.
And you can go up that.
Yeah.
You can go up that side.
Pulsing,
Sorry, it's
throbbing with magic.
Oh, stop it.
That's so close, so close. Yeah, so you climb up towards the wall just using the rest of your movement. So you use your dash to get up there, but you can use your action to
Yeah, cool.
make that climb. You make it outside while a number of people are yelling at you as Major kind of recoils back towards your hip.
Nice.
Alce, what do you think?
Okay, so successfully hidden where we are. So these guys are busy. These guys here, the guards, are busy poking around in the.
Actually, the guards were moving at the start of your turn. Sorry, so I'll just quickly do them. So they hear and see the patrons kind of pointing, and they say that the owlbear's been stolen,
Right.
and they realize, holy shit, that's the priority.
Albert.
Colin, that that's the zoo's main attraction.
Not anymore. It's not.
They begin running towards here, and they run up here.
Okay.
Just in time, I think, to see Finn kind of vaulting the wall.
I think you stole it, Finn. I love it. It's got to you. Okay.
So what are you doing else?
So as they disappear, I'm just going to whistle for Wolf to get Wolf to come across. And then we are basically going, so me, Wolf, and Kobold are just going to not stroll, but sneak towards the entrance of the zoo. And I'm going to also, whilst Wolf is coming, I'm also going to give Igneous a bit of a, Igneous, this way! Because basically I can get us all out without being seen, as long as they stay within 30 feet of me.
I got seen.
Well, that's your own fault for going with the gnome, to be fair. If you'd stuck with me, you'd be perfectly fine right now.
You would have definitely been seen.
We all make our choices.
Okay. Cool. Igneous, what are you doing?
So Igneous, I'm hearing Aust's voice, is just going to look around and also see where Wolf is going to. And he's going to kind of get two and be like, oh yeah. So he's going to start running towards following Wolf and just beckon Doorcracker and Sasha to follow him.
Okay.
Yeah, I can get us all out.
I think Doorcracker definitely follows, and Sasha's like, what's going on? And sees the cloud of the shroud of like noiselessness and kind of just enters it and is like, oh okay, hey us, like can't see you, but just puts its hands out like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So once everyone's here, I'm just going to basically say stay close, and we're just going to quietly walk towards the entrance of the zoo.
Yeah, I think with a +10 bonus and you guys not really being looked for at the moment, the owlbear is kind of the priority. I'm just going to say that you managed to sneak
Thank
your
you
way out.
so much, Bernard and Finn. That was brilliant.
So we'll call a break there. We will be back in roughly 10 minutes. And we'll follow up where we pick up from where we left off, I guess.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll be back in
Brilliant.
usual 5 to 10 minutes.
5-10 minutes.
5, somewhere between the two.
It's usually about 8.
All right, be back soon. All right, yeah, we're back. We're back from the break.
Hey.
Hi everybody. That was a good break.
Oh.
No fancy drink this time. Plain old H2O.
What is going on?
I don't know.
What
Just
is happening?
felt like a change. Yeah. Haven't mentioned a few other things. So last week we brought in D&D Beyond's cool little Twitch overlay that we're running again this week. We thought we'd keep that going because it was pretty cool. So if you want to take a look at our characters, especially now that they've leveled up to level 10, which I do need to make sure I update the commands. Now that I think about that. But yeah, so you can put your mouse over the screen and it will give you a look at all of our different characters. You can click on them and see exactly all of our stats, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool little feature from D&D Beyond. We have a Discord channel that we've been a little bit more vocal in, so definitely pop in and say hi and have a chat to us. We have a bunch of different things like John's Twitter and my Twitter and the official Getting Dicey Twitter. Dave's got an Instagram, and the other two, I don't know what they have actually. We haven't really. I don't think Reese has anything, and Shannon isn't very social media-y other than Instagram, maybe.
Yeah, I've got 2_friendly for Instagram.
Yeah, there you go. Just search them too friendly, and you'll find them. And there is a sub-only chat as well. If you want to give us ideas or give us things that you want our characters to do, and we'll just say that if you put it there, we pretty much just have to do it. So, if you want to see an episode where Igneous covers himself in dirt naked for once, because normally he just applies the dirt and rocks to his face.
This is apparel, by the way. That's not language.
Yeah, we actually get to see where that goes if in a few episodes from now, I think.
Hashtag I can't ever peel my eyes closed again.
Okay, so we'll get back in. So the party have managed to slip the confines of the zoo.
Yeah.
Assuming we're heading back to Luskan.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
now that things aren't really getting dicey.
Yeah, I think the plan should be well. I guess the original plan is we were going to head to the docks at some point, right?
That was the original.
We've mucked around enough in the zoo, so it's probably time to head towards the docks.
Okay. Well, first of all, just as an out of character thing, John, how long has the owlbear been a baby?
I think by the time you all get back to town, after like fighting it the whole way there, it's
You're in
been a
so
baby
much,
for
yeah.
probably you get back to the inn, I would say, unless you want to go somewhere else.
Aren't we
It's
going
probably-
to the dock?
I think we're just heading straight to the docks.
Heading straight to the docks.
You're going to let an owlbear out in full form at the docks.
Maybe.
Finn doesn't know that it's just a baby owlbear that we're going to gift to you, Oust.
I would say I'd say it'd probably take you about 45 minutes to get to the docks.
I do have food.
Unless you're like bolting through the town.
Yeah, we want to sort of gun it, really, right?
Well, it
Yeah,
depends.
Suspiciously carrying an owlbear.
Because it depends. I mean, like we had how many? We had a few hours to kill before the boat was
4.
leaving, right?
You had 4 hours to
4.
kill, and I'd say you've probably killed about half of that time. And then
Oh.
plus the 45 minutes. So you're like an hour and 15.
All right, so maybe we do just meet back outside the tavern then, because we don't need to be back at the down at the docks straight away.
Ignis is just going to be like, who's this little creature?
So Colin, is he still held at bow point?
Colin's not held at bow point, but I do have my hand, because I've basically been dragging him around everywhere. So he's no longer at bow point, but I have my hand wrapped around his wrist quite firmly. So I don't want him sort of just wandering off because I needed to keep him in the zone of silence, so to speak.
Okay. So
Yeah.
as you're all walking through town, can you describe for me what you're doing with Colin, and then after that, Bernard, what you're doing with the owlbear?
Okay, so
Like,
basically
how are
Colin...
you keeping things inconspicuous?
So Colin is I'm literally like walking a child through the supermarket, just holding like you'd hold a kid's wrist, just kind of walking them through a supermarket. So we're walking at a reasonably casual pace, but I'm keeping Colin very close.
Okay. And what about for you, Bernard?
Well, if I want to be incognito,
Well, you don't
I
have
mean,
to, but you will be walking a baby owlbear through a town.
I want to disguise. I got disguise self, so I'm going to cast a spell.
So many spells being cast.
So he's really using his range of skills.
So I
Magic
got
being
disguise
fired.
self, and I can change, make myself, including my clothes and weapons and other belongings, look different until the spell ends. It lasts for an hour. I can look up to a foot taller. I can look thin or fat or in between. So I want to look I guess fat. I want to be a foot taller and fat, and I want to look like a zookeeper.
You're trying to look like Mr. Stevens.
No. I'm just going to be like a zookeeper, like on a mission with this baby Albie.
Okay. Cool. Yep, I like that. Okay, and you're just dragging this kobold through the town.
But we're still using. I'm still using hide in plain sight. So we're conspicuously walking through. We're not making a big scene. We're just walking. So hopefully, we're trying to avoid being seen. Obviously, I don't want to make a massive scene. But yeah. As a group, we're walking. So I think basically the plan would be I'd have Igneous, Sasha, Wolf, and I'd be in the middle with the kobold. So it could be pretty hard to see us.
That's taking up a fair chunk of space on a small down the road kind of thing, though, right?
Yeah, I think you're rolling with a crew here, and every so often you see somebody point at you. This happens like 2 or 3 times before you get to the town square, and they're kind of like kobold, and run in the opposite direction, alerting like the general people around them.
That's fine.
So you all kind of get to the Blood and Bone Inn. What do you do? Are you guys hanging out here? Are you going to keep going towards the docks?
Is there like a back alley behind the tavern or something that we can kind of like just talk about what's happened?
Yeah, can we just kind of gather, and we need to gather and discuss, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I think you can all gather behind the...
Okay.
Cool.
Ignis is going to talk to Colin and be like, I didn't think you were real, man. How are you? Who are you?
Colin's like, maybe Ask not want me to say anything.
You can tell him who you are. That's fine.
I'm Colin. Sagittarius. Who are you? Your face rocky.
Call me Igneous. Or if you want me to kill you, call me Mudman.
I forgot about that.
Did you have a nice day trip at the zoo as well?
I used to live at the zoo.
You must have tried the ice cream. It's so good.
It's so good, right?
I guess just spend the next few minutes just chatting with Colin about ice cream.
It's like, they gave me this really big one, like animated, kind of gesturing, just wild gesticulation.
So while these two are chatting about ice cream, I'm just gonna grab Finn quickly and go, Finn, we need to be able to hide Colin. We need to make him look non-kobold. Can you
I don't know.
whip
What
up
do you
a
mean?
disguise?
What do you mean? Why are you
Can
dragging
you
me
whip up
into
a
this?
disguise?
Oh
Because
my
you're the only
God.
one who can do disguises.
Yeah, but
we
it takes
need to make him-
time.
Just anything that will make him look
Look.
non-kobold. It doesn't have to be deceptive or anything.
Okay,
Just
look.
make him look not like a kobold.
I can see what I can put together in like the next half an hour, but like he's got like a very, very non-human face. I can't just like paint him up like a human.
Well, just make him look non-kobold. He just anything that's a bit distracting, a bit hiding. That's all I need.
I could try and make him look more like dog-like.
That'd be perfect. Make him look like a dog. That's fine. He can be a dog that's walking
Okay.
around on 2 legs.
But before we get
fine.
onto that, I don't know if you've noticed, but Bernard's got something for you.
I don't know if you guys would have been surprised when a zookeeper showed up.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried. We
I-
noticed this. We must have noticed that. Did you see him change, Finn?
Sorry, I wasn't sure if that happened before you got to us or after you got to us. Sorry.
Oh yeah, on the way. This was my disguise on the way to get to the
Right.
cabin.
Right. Okay. So I think we glossed over the part. where-
So
Yeah,
you
so I
tried
think,
to
I
avoid
think
it.
Sorry.
Finn,
Someone
I think
along
Finn
me.
saw you transform.
yeah, I would have been there.
But yeah, Finn is just with a zookeeper who's holding a baby owlbear.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Did ignore.
So after,
But I just want to say, hey, I don't want to alarm anyone, and then I'll turn back to Bernard. Because I just
all right, that was
like Colin's eyes pop out when he sees a zookeeper or something.
Yeah. Ignis isn't going to enjoy.
watching you transform.
Oh, it's a swift process.
Okay.
But yeah, I just hold out. Guess what I got for you?
Why is it so little?
Yeah.
Why is it so little? When I saw it, it was a bit bigger.
You never saw it.
You never saw it.
No, I imagined. Okay, actually, no, you're right. I imagined it to be bigger. Why
They
is
all
it
say
little?
that.
I
They all
imagined
say
it to
that.
be bigger.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is owlbear asleep, or how are you handing me this owlbear?
It's wrapped up in a cardigan. I don't know if it's asleep or not.
Yeah, I think roll another strength check as it thrashes in your arms.
Okay.
One more time.
Well,
Yeah, you managed to hold, just barely hold on to it. It seems to be regaining its strength.
So are you going to reveal why it's little, or are you just going to hand me this owlbear and it's going to surprise me as it suddenly gets big in, I don't know, 10 minutes?
This is
a
obviously
baby.
an out of
Is
character
that what we're
question.
talking about? This is the baby owlbear that we found at the zoo, and I figure if you raise it as your own, it will recognize you as its mother. You can feed it, and eventually it'll grow up, and you can ride it around.
I'm not so keen on riding it, but I certainly could do with an
I do.
owlbear as a minion.
I remember you saying you would ride it.
Fine, I'll ride it if I have to. Elsa's definitely keen on the idea of raising an owlbear. I like this idea.
Well,
Sure, give me.
as long as you look after it.
I'll take great care of it.
And
Alright.
Finn's just going to reach into his bag and be like, "Oh, he loves these." And he's going to hand you 5 fire giant fingers.
Oh yeah.
We haven't named him yet, or her. But I see you look after your wolf so well. You probably will look after an owlbear.
Oh, this is brilliant.
Also, I'll just hand it over, but I'll need my cardigan back at some point.
So I'm just I'll look quickly at Colin and ask Colin if he brought the Yeti pelt that I gave him with him, or did he leave that behind?
Not sure.
The Yeti Pout.
Yeah, that I gave him last night.
That was in Wolf's Jaws. So you have it.
Oh, cool.
So
Excellent.
when Wolf went to pick Colin up and he's
All right, Wolf's still got it. Good
Colin's-
man.
Well, I'm assuming you took it off of Wolf.
Oh yeah, no, that's cool. Sweet.
After you vaulted
Okay.
the feet, got
Cool.
back to the bar.
Sweet. So I'll give Bernard his cardigan thing back, and I'm just gonna wrap the owlbear, kind of wrap him up and swaddle him like a baby, in the yeti pelt.
Okay. Cool. Go ahead and make a strength check.
Oh shit.
He should be ready for his nap.
Yeah. So yeah, strength check. 7.
Perfect.
Okay. As Bernard hands over the owlbear to you, in the transition, and you'll go to wrap him up in this yeti pelt, he manages to break free and just goes and clawing and scratching and trying to break free.
This is not going to end well.
This is not going to end well at all.
He rolls a 10 to hit for the first attack and a 14 to hit for the second attack. Ask, does either of those hit?
No.
Okay.
Oh no.
He punches claws across your armor.
Oh, this is
It's a
not
feisty
good.
thing, huh?
We did try to tell you they were pretty angry creatures.
I'm just going to throw him one of the fire giant fingers and just see if he'll calm down.
So as you throw him the fire giant finger, he kind of snaps it, like reaches his beak out and snaps it up, swallows it down, and then begins to make a run for it.
Oh
What do
my
you do?
god, is it?
That'll be a losing town. I'm just going to send Wolf after it to basically grab him by the scruff of the neck and pick him up. So I'm going to go, Wolf, fetch. Wolf's better at this shit than I am.
Roll to hit with Wolf.
Oh, now is Wolf in dire form or is he in little form?
He's in little form.
He's in little
You haven't
form.
told him- you haven't said
No,
you've
that's
shown
right, he
him
is in
his
little
die.
form. I need to find my Wolf. Character shit, sorry. You want hit, yeah? So, there. He rolls a 13.
That's a hit.
Now he's just...
So he bites into the scruff of the owlbear's neck, and it's like, "Rah!"
Yeah.
And he manages to kind of pick it up.
Yeah, he's just going to bring him back. And whilst he's doing so, I'm going to remember, oh shit, you're little. Forgot about that. I'm just going to quickly put the collar back on him because it's like whoops.
You see Wolf kind of grow in front of you in this alleyway, and he's just like this hulking thing taking up. He stretches from one side of the alley to the other.
That's fine.
Don't forget, else that like the zoo guards saw Wolf in dire form.
That's fine.
Okay.
They're not looking for him with an owlbear. They're looking for a 3.5-foot halfling.
No, but they
with an
might think that 2 break-ins, like one the previous night followed by one the following, and that have both been centered around a kobold.
They're not looking for me right now. They're looking for
I know,
you.
but they know the kobold's gone.
And someone did barge in and threaten them with the kobold.
They won't find us. It's all
Yeah.
good. They're not going to find us because we're going to be on a boat with a kobold and an owlbear, no doubt.
Oh, hi, Wolf.
He's bigger
Okay.
than that, but
Oh yeah, Wolf's back. All right, cool. Yeah, so Wolf's just going to be holding the owlbear there, and I'm just going to hand I'm going to dangle a little fire giant finger in front of the owlbear just to see if he's still hungry or not.
yeah, he snaps up every.
Cool. I'm just going to keep.
Every
I've got so that's 3. I'm just going to pass him the next 3. And when he eats them, I'm just going to look at Finn and go, Finn, got any more?
Yeah, I mean, I've got a few, but we can't, we've got to ration them out. I mean, what are we going to
Feed
do?
him. Feed him. He sleeps. He's passive. Just go with me.
Do we know that that's... Oh,
Just
he's gonna...
I just want to go.
How many did you
animal
just
logic here.
feed him? You just fed him 3. They're massive. 4.
I gave him all of
You
them.
gave him all 5. So
I gave him
They're
all
like the size of a large sausage.
look, we gave him one just like 45, maybe 50 minutes ago, maybe 55 minutes ago. I don't know how long ago that was, but it was about 55 minutes ago, I think.
Yeah, it's been nearly an hour.
Yes.
I'm just going to go to the bathroom.
I've got heaps of cooked eggs.
Yeah.
In your bag of holding.
Yeah. Do you guys want some for that little creature thing you've got?
Alice has a plan. Igneous, do you reckon the owlbear would fit in your bag of holding?
I can squeeze him in there. He might break a few legs, but that's all right.
Hey, how big is the
I've got some
entrance to the?
salted meat as well.
Can't put them in
I
there.
don't think the bag of holding would be wide enough to fit.
Hmm.
Is it like
2 feet. Actually, 2 feet in diameter at the mouth.
Does it
Yeah,
kill-
okay.
That's pretty decent.
Igneous,
Yo,
owlbear, bag, please?
Finn's just gonna pipe up and be like, "Would you put Wolf in the bag of holding? I thought you were meant to be looking after this thing."
Right now, it's a safer place for the owlbear to be.
Ignis
It
is gonna be like,
it keeps him out of sight. It keeps him.
Ignis is going to be very suspicious and be like, "This doesn't look like freedom."
Is
Oh.
is there oxygen in the bag of holding? Like,
It's a bag.
I put
yeah, but it's a
food-
magical bag.
Well, I don't know anything about it. I'm just trusting Igneous here.
I kind of think of it more of my pantry rather than where I keep my friends.
Else, why don't you put your head into the bag just to see if, and take a big breath, see if that works.
I'm not putting my head into that. I've seen what's gone in there. I'm not gonna do that. All right, fine. Owlbear can stay outside if you want. I've got no problem with that.
I just think
I'm
Die. I
quite
think.
happy.
I just.
All right, that's cool.
It is mean to put a creature in the bag of holding.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of for ease of carrying purposes, but okay, we'll bring it with us. I don't care.
Sock merchant
Yeah.
saying there is no air in a bag of holding.
Yeah, he's desperate to see the owlbear polymorph
Now
into full
remember,
size.
your characters don't know that.
No.
Yeah.
Unless you've thought about it and or studied it.
Yeah.
If any of you want to roll Arcana, you can.
I'm just going by the babblings of Finn going, no, it's not fair. You can't put an owlbear into a bag. Okay, cool, whatever. We'll carry on as we are. So what's our plan? I'm happy to carry the owlbear around and make friends with it. But
Okay.
are we going to take it on the boat with us, or what's our plan?
It was your. What do you mean our plan? It was your plan from the get go.
I just planned to free it and put it in the forest, and if it was going to be my friend, then I'd take it with me.
I'm
But seeing
fairly certain the whole point of you going to that zoo was to liberate and then get a minion. You wanted an owlbear that you could ride around on and own.
I have an owlbear now, and I'm
Yes.
just sort of going to work on making it, being friends with it.
Okay. All right. So that's the plan.
And if you've got any fire giant fingers, I'll quite happily feed them to it.
Ignis is going to be like, "I've got some salted meats from the Great Dane I can give you."
That'll do. Any kind of food is good right now. I want to stuff this thing to the point that it's absolutely satiated and asleep.
Okay. So you're spending some time feeding it?
Yeah, while Finn's disguising Kobold. Thanks, Finn.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's right. Just working
After
on it.
a few minutes of you feeding it, you notice like one of its arms, one of its shoulders just go woof, and become like enormous.
Bernard,
And then
Not good.
the other
explain.
shoulder becomes enormous.
Don't feed it so much.
Bernard, what the fuck?
As this thing like screeches at you and grows to roughly the same size as your dire wolf.
Oh my god,
Oh
Bernard,
my
what
God.
have you done?
It begins thrashing about. You obviously can no longer hold it. It's broken the cardigan. The buttons come
Oh, I got the
flying off.
Was it in the cardigan?
Yes,
cardigan-
you were holding.
No,
I'm
cardigan was given
assuming.
back. It was swaddled in the Yeti pelt.
Okay, the Yeti pelt is like falls to the ground, and it's kind of actually shouldn't be over there. It's nearest you, Alst,
Oh, fucking hell.
as you're holding onto it, and it's like reaches out.
Fabulous.
Oh my god.
You just hear like a big giggle coming out of Boomer's.
Bernard! What the?
Oh my god. I hope Bernard's got a plan. I
Yeah.
really hope Bernard's got, other than run.
Okay. This is going to be its surprise round.
Shit. Bernard, what are you doing?
22 to hit.
Yeah, that's a hit.
Okay. Take 14 damage,
Ay, ay, ay.
and then it reels back and kind of pecks at you with its huge beak. For 22 again.
Oh, mother.
Here we go.
Ah.
Naughty boy.
Oh,
Take another 13 damage.
little guy's hungry.
What do you do?
We'll start with you on this one,
I'm
Alst.
doing math right now and trying to work out how to go backwards. Hold on, 74. What was the first damage? 14, eh?
I think they're both 14.
Alright, 14, went down to 6 there. Alright, yeah, cool.
So take 28 off.
Yeah, okay. So, after being struck by this rather large, monstrous animal, I'm just going to scream Bernard with a real massive question mark, like, what the fuck have you done? I'm clearly engaged in this, so if I run, and if I turn tail and run, he's going to take a swing at me, right?
You don't know that.
Okay, I'm still running. I'm not about to try and calm this thing down. It's huge. Yeah.
It's about the same size as Wolf.
Yeah, but it's more aggressive. It's clearly trying to beat the shit out. If Wolf turned on me, I'd probably run. You know?
Okay.
And this thing's
Cool.
more aggressive than Wolf, to be honest.
And
So
what are you doing with Kobold?
so I'll have the presence of mind to grab Colin, because Colin's probably just standing there packing himself. I'm gonna grab him, toss him onto Wolf's back, and Wolf and I are just gonna get out of Dodge, basically. We're gonna get out of there as quickly as we can.
Okay.
So we're gonna try and head, I guess, over here.
Okay.
Alst is never going to hear the end of this from Finn.
What did I do?
This was your plan all along.
Your little friend
All
brought
along. You wanted your little owlbear.
Little.
Okay. So as you like pull Colin up onto Wolf, he's like freaking the fuck out at the sight of this enormous owlbear. The owlbear just reaches its claw back and it comes towards you, but is a little bit too slow to catch you. But it just tears Colin asunder.
Oh no!
He's like, each claw rips entirely through his body. So there's just there's his top bit and his bottom bit, and then just ribbons in between.
Bernard!
Naughty.
It killed my friend!
Finn is not enjoying
As
this.
this CR something or other creature just tears through a CR 1/8 creature, which has 5 hit points, by the way.
Oh.
Bernard! What did you do?
So there's just like, I just want to make you aware that there's like his top half with his arms and his head and stuff, and then there's his bottom half with like his waist and his legs. But in between, there is like just ribbons of Colin.
Oh no.
Each ribbon is separated by like where the claw marks of the owlbear ripped through, and you're still holding on to the torso part as you kind of dart away on the back of the wolf.
This is all Alst's fault.
I think calling an ambulance.
How's this my fault?
And you see Colin look up at you and it says, "Oust,
Oh!
I'm cold."
Oh!
I don't feel good, Mr. Stark.
I don't feel good, Mr. Marsh. Yeah, Colin is no more.
Oh!
Trust freedom.
Dabba said Colin is free.
Yeah, Colin is free.
Free.
Seriously.
Okay, so Bernard, you're up.
3 episodes I worked on freeing that thing. 3.
And who said from the very start? I believe all of us said from the very start this was not going to go well.
It was going perfectly well until that. No, never mind. I wanted the owlbear free, but I'm not happy with that.
This is what a free owlbear looks like.
Oh.
Ooh, ooh. We got some serious music just kicked in.
That's maybe a little bit quick for this, but that's fine.
This is on you, Bernard.
Hey, I made my delivery. It's real owlbear now.
Oof.
Okay, Bernard, what are you doing?
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Oh. What do you guys want to do? You want to like go to the docks or?
We've got a ferocious owlbear to deal with.
Yeah.
We have the small thing of an owlbear standing, in fact, close to you and Finn right now.
Mm.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm gonna.
Wand of Wonder.
What's that?
Wand of Wonder.
Alright, I'm gonna cast a spell called telekinesis. And with that, I'm going to lift the owlbear into the air. So its feet
Okay.
will move.
Okay.
So we need to do a
can
bit
you-
of conflict.
Can you tell me what save it is?
Okay, so we make an ability check with my spellcasting ability contested by the creature's strength check.
Ooh.
Okay.
I'm imagining an owlbear as being quite
Does
strong.
that include my proficiency? If it's my spellcasting ability contest.
Okay. Go ahead and roll yours.
Does it include my proficiency?
Your spellcasting ability.
Spellcasting ability.
Yeah.
Check. Content. Okay.
This isn't good.
Well, 22.
22 is effective.
Whee!
So you see this owlbear like slowly go into the air. It's like as it begins thrashing around and gently floating up. I'm assuming.
Yes, like a balloon. I want to
Like
Like
a balloon.
owlbear balloon.
It's a big freaking balloon.
You can try to move a huge or smaller creature, which this is. Make an ability check with your spellcasting ability. If you win the contest, you move the creature up to 30 feet in any direction, including upward, but not beyond the range of the spell. Until the end of your turn, the creature is restrained in your telekinetic grip. A creature lifted upwards is suspended in midair. Yep. So you've kind of lifted this owlbear up. How far are you lifting it?
Just a good 10 feet.
Okay.
Not too.
So it's still like beneath the building height.
Yeah,
Okay. Cool.
but I just want to say this might fail next time, next round. What do you guys want to do with your owlbear?
I'd just get rid of. Get rid of that.
Wanted an owlbear.
Oh yeah, this is not what I had in mind.
Are we going to roll initiative?
Be careful what you wish for. I think is the.
I'm just doing it in order of who's closest to the owlbear, rather than rolling for initiative. So what are you doing? So that's your action, Bernard, and you've asked.
Yeah, well, I can attempt to walk it to the docks. It lasts for 10 minutes.
Okay.
We don't want it at the docks.
Wait, no, I think if you get it as far away from the docks or us as possible, then I'm good. Yeah, this is not what I had planned.
Yeah.
What did you
Okay. There was no plan. There was.
There was no. Hands in the air. There was no plan. I was happy with. I was happy with Colin.
This mission.
I was happy
Alright.
with Colin. Alright.
Igneous and Finn, you're both up. You can decide between the two of you who goes first and does what.
Finn is just freaking out. He's kind of a little bit uncertain, like why Bernard would have brought this thing out. Like he's kind of like feeling like what the hell, and he's also like just so close to this thing that he's kind of just stumbling back, and is just kind of is going to take the next turn maybe a couple of feet back, but in shock.
Okay, Igneous.
Alright, Ignis is going to slam down his battle visor, and he's going to grab his trusty shield, and he's just going to charge at the owlbear, wanting to protect his friends from this vicious creature who's just killed one of his new ice cream buddies.
Killed Colin.
And he's going to use his protection ability.
Hey.
Boom, boom, boom. And he's going to use that to protect Dora.
Okay.
And with his remarkable athletics, he's going to run at the owlbear, and then using his shield, he's going to attempt to bat the owlbear further into the sky, because he thinks this is like the beat of force thing which he saw in thing. So he's just trying to get the owlbear as high as he can, and he's just going to flex his fire giant strength belt and just put all his force into a big swat with a shield.
Okay. Roll a d20 plus your proficiency modifier plus your strength to hit.
Okay, d20 plus. So plus strength modifier, yeah?
Plus strength plus proficiency.
Okay. Please hold the line. That didn't do it.
No, it did not.
Need to slash.
D20.
Plus 11.
It's a 17.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nailed it.
So 17's a hit. So roll a 1d4 plus your strength modifier.
Kaboosh.
Kaboosh. Oh, yeah. That's
Oh.
right.
Oh.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got that belt.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you bat this this thing with your shield. Just whack it really hard across the nose. And it moves up slightly, but seems to be held in place where it is at the moment.
Oh, no, it's not going to go anywhere.
Can I
I'm just
see?
going to yell out, don't hurt Owly.
Oh. Mm.
Oh, you're in a dilemma. You're really confusing.
Well, we got freedom. I don't really want to murder him.
Okay.
Do we get a
Okay.
second attack, John?
Yep, you get your second attack.
The same thing with the back of the shield.
Okay, go again.
You don't hurt Igneous's ice cream buddy.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. So 1d20.
It wasn't so much hurting, it was killing.
I'm sure it hurt.
11.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure it too.
So I think go ahead and roll your 1d4 plus 7.
Is that
Oh,
20?
Whoa,
there
there
we
we
go.
go.
now we're in there.
Oops, sorry. That's another 15. Sorry. I think as you step over Colin's body and return that smack with the second attack, you can see because his tummy has been torn to shreds. You can just see soft serve
Oh no!
with entrails and blood
Are we trying to traumatize Igneous here? Come on.
strewn across the ground, and you think He enjoyed that fucking ice.
Alright. Igneous can't restrain himself any longer. He's going to boost into action surge.
Oh no!
And he's just going to jump forward and just headbutt the owl with his helmet. Because it looks sharp like a beak. And he's like, yeah, that's going to work. Kaboom!
Okay. He is 10 foot in the air, so I'm going to get you to make an athletics check.
Sweet. A remarkable athletics check.
Go for it.
He's hoping.
You are a remarkable athlete.
Kaboom!
Oh,
Nice.
Yep. That's, so you leap in the air as you like ready your head. Go ahead and roll to hit.
How do I do that?
Roll your-
Just do the same roll.
Okay.
The same roll as your shield. It's,
1d20 plus 11.
How sturdy is your helmet?
Yeah, this will be impressive. Oh, not that. It's a 15.
while you're in midair, you're like, and you manage to misjudge the distance between yourself and the owlbear, and you just head air.
Nice.
Yes,
It's like a footballer who's just missed a cross. You just
Sweet. And Ignis is just going to yell at the final thing. Run away, everybody! I'll take care of this.
Ah, yeah, sweet. I'm out of here. Alce is taking.
Yeah, Alce, you're up.
Yeah, so Alce, hearing Igneous yell that, Alce is like, come on, everyone, let's get out. And is bolting for the docks. Because he's not overly comfortable with owlbear. Even owlbear being held, he's like, yeah, I'm not hanging around.
Finn's new saying for when we ever have to retreat is that we're getting oust of here because you're being such a goddamn coward after getting what you wanted.
Hey, things don't go my way, I get out, If shit doesn't go the way you get out of Dallas, Yep, so Alce is heading towards the docks as quickly as he can.
Okay.
Hoping that the boat's ready and we can just get on and go.
Okay. Cool. So we'll say Auster's out of combat for now. He's pretty fast on top of Wolf, and with a bonus action to dash as well.
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
Okay.
So going back to Bernard, what are you doing?
Okay, well, I can see that this has gone wrong. I didn't think he was going to get attacked. I thought he was going to get, like, someone was going to look after him. When he was freed. So I'm going to cast Polymorph on him again because I can see it's just not going to happen. His new deck on him. Just get down.
And what are you going to try to turn him into?
Just, like, basically like a koala. Do they have koalas then?
Okay.
Something
So I roll a saving throw, yeah? I roll a saving throw?
Yes.
Okay. I rolled 11.
Okay. So you get polymorphed.
Oh, thank God.
So the owlbear, I don't have a koala token, but the owlbear kind of transforms back down into a smaller bear. This time, no owl face, just a cute little koala face.
Alright.
As it lands on its butt.
I'm trying to catch it.
Igneous is going to contest Bernard's speed to get there.
Okay. Both roll a dex check.
Whee, here we go.
Do it, let's do it.
Oh, yeah. Boom. The grip failed.
Yeah, so Igneous, you get there first as Bernard, you trip over your famous shoes as you step forward. Go ahead and roll a D100.
Oh, here it is.
Right.
Oh, that's alright.
That's not too bad, actually.
Are you wearing lace-ups or are you wearing, like, what's your... Can you describe your shoes?
Yeah, they're a type of leather, but faux leather, and they slightly curled at the end. It's probably what tripped me up, but they got all sort of glistening edges down the side, and they're type of Velcro.
Okay. I think as you put one foot in front of the other and you move the other one forward, you just catch yourself on the pointed end and you just stumble down into the dirt. There you fall prone.
Oh,
But yeah, Igneous, you get there first as this koala falls from the air because I think Polymorph's concentration, correct?
So,
no, I don't think so.
It's not.
No. That's
Okay,
what
so
I think.
So telekinesis is still active. So there's a koala kind of floating 10 feet in the air.
so Igneous,
Oh, I was going to cancel it to catch him, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
Igneous
Are you
is
still? So
If it
I
worked,
think
I was just going to go.
make a concentration save.
And what is that?
Polymorph is concentration.
Oh.
Yeah. So you drop
Okay.
your telekinesis.
Right. Where does it say that?
I should say a C if it's on D&D Beyond. I'm using the book.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, so Igneous makes it there,
Yeah.
and he's on the ground. So Igneous is just going to tackle into this little koala, pull up his knife, and just give him to him.
No! I'm going to scream out, no!
Igneous is not going to do it. It's just going to stab into the throat of this little shape.
Oh, savage.
Okay, this cute little bear looks up at you with these big beady eyes and blinks a couple of times as your knife kind of bears down on this koala.
Wow.
I'll just yell.
Roll to hit. Roll with advantage.
That is savage.
Just a big man picking on a koala bear.
Oh, we're going to free it.
It's dead now. It's free.
It's a fail. Can you please roll a D100 for me?
You rolled with advantage, alright?
Advantage, bro.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Ooh.
14. Yeah, 14's a hit on a baby koala.
That's a pretty good advantage shot.
Yeah.
You get 12 even with a disadvantage.
You basically, as soon the second your dagger pierces the hide of this koala, it just poof, and is an enormous owlbear once more.
Oh god.
Oh no! Oh no!
I'm so glad I got out of there.
Alright, so Igneous is like, alright, boy. Let's do this. And he's going to ignite his boots of haste. And be like, "Rah." He's going to whip out his short sword from his sheath on his back and be like, "Rah," and just scream at it and just try and hack away at its eyeballs.
Okay, go ahead and roll to hit.
I love how Deborah just says that was an awful idea.
Yeah.
There were a whole lot of awful ideas in this session. Oh my god, a 30.
Yep. So you do 14 damage.
And we'll go with my second attack.
Yep.
The other eyeball.
Okay. So I think with the first attack you just cleave it. You cleave a nice sweet scar in its cheek. You don't.
Oh man.
Yeah, that's a hit. And you kind of go the other side as well. So now he's got like a V kind of shaped scar across his cheek.
It's just a rock man going absolutely berserk on a massive beast.
Yeah.
And then we'll go third attack and try and go for the eyeball again.
Okay. That is a hit.
Sweet.
Yep. So he takes another 8 damage.
Oof.
As you attack this time, plunging your sword, you do manage to find his eye and just pop
Oh.
one of the eyeballs as it kind of rears back in pain.
They're really good eyeballs too.
Mm.
And you just see it sitting there like... breathing incredibly heavily. And that is what we'll call it for this evening.
Oh.
With Aust with Igneous kind of covered in the blood and guts and of his owlbear enemy,
The
as well
eye
as
juice.
the ice cream of his friend, his very new friend Colin, in this back alley brawl between an owlbear and an earth ganassi, which is totally how I thought the session was going to be. Igneous staring up at this just monstrous creature who he's managed to really, really humble in just the last few seconds. Thanks very much for joining us, everybody.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Yeah, that was good. If you're not already following us, follow us. Just click that little thing and you'll be alerted when we go live. Check us out on Twitter with our official account, or John's Twitter, or my Twitter, or Dave's Instagram, and Two Friendly's Instagram, way down the end there. And come join us in Discord and we can talk about what's going on. But we will officially wrap up the stream and we'll probably just spend a few minutes talking about what happened, I guess, and how terrible Aust is at everything he does in this game. No, kidding.
Hey! That's not fair. I've saved your ass at least once. I've put it in danger more often than that, but that's not the point.
I do like that Aust has died enough time, or at least gone to like saving throws enough times to like decide, this is the one I'm not gonna do. I'm out of here.
Yeah, I've had death throws like 6 times, I think, and I don't need. This was clearly has weighed on Aust's mind, and it's sunk in. Danger, run.
Yeah.
This is a battle he wasn't comfortable in getting involved in.
But this is the first time where like Aust has gone, you know what? I'm gonna save myself. Screw literally the entire town. But if we all just ran, this owlbear would just go from house to house, eating people and ripping people to shreds.
Aust never said he liked the town.
Okay, fair enough.
There was never anything about this town that Aust said he liked.
That's fair.
His interest peaked when he heard zoo, and
Yes, it
that
did.
was cool.
You guys did stand your ground against like 20 frost giants when they attacked this town.
That's right.
Aust has familiarity
20
with
frost giants, 1 owlbear.
I know.
Sorry.
It's a nil balance,
Giants. Aust has some serious skill against giants. Owlbear completely unknown. This thing's just he's just stood in front of it. It's gone poof, whack, whack. It's cleaved one of his minions in 2. That's it. Aust is tapping out.
You couldn't even call Colin a friend.
He's a minion. He was always a minion.
Buddy.
Yeah, I
He
know.
was more Igneous' friend than Aust. Aust just freed him and was going to have his minion. He destroyed one of his own minions, and that's just not cool.
But we didn't get the Thunder Lizard either.
Yeah, I'm not remotely.
Out if I had the chance. Get the Thunder Lizard.
Are we heading back there now after in the next session?
No.
We're just gonna play until 12, and we're gonna go back for the Thunder Lizard.
Yeah, I believe Aust's attempt at the zoo have completely. No, we're not going back. We're going to the dogs.
So that's a wrap on the zoo. We're done.
That's a wrap on the zoo. 3 sessions was enough.
All right.
Yeah, cool.
They were good
Although
sessions.
Bernard is going to have some serious explaining to do when he.
Well, I figured I'd just give you what you wanted, which was an owl.
He did give you
You
exactly
did
what
give me
you
the
were after.
owlbear. You didn't kind of warn me that it was going to explode in front of me.
They're warning it where they are. But I did not expect it to get savaged. So I
Top
thought,
job, I
okay,
guess.
well, I'll put it safely up in the sky, and then I'll turn into a koala, and we can let it free in the forest or something.
I think that the key thing here, there was a lack of explanation as to what you were doing, and Igneous was just like, you killed my friend,
Yeah,
I'm going
yeah.
to, you've got to talk to Igneous before you do
Yeah,
shit.
there's no messing around with Igneous. If he sees a threat, he's gonna take it out. Yeah. Finn didn't get a chance because he was still in shock, but he was gonna basically ask, that doorway that you made. He was gonna try and see if you could get it back into the zoo, basically. But
Yeah, well, it's only things my size and smaller, which work with the baby.
right.
We can cut it up into pieces and then put it back there.
We'll return it back to the zoo in 3 pieces.
Fucking hell, man.
Oh, dear, that was fun.
Yeah, that was a good session. All right, so same time next week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting on the boat so we don't have to explain
Yeah.
breaking into a zoo, an owlbear being destroyed.
Yeah.
We didn't kill anyone at the zoo. I'm pleased that. I think we actually managed to... I'm stoked we didn't end up killing a guard.
So quickly you forget about our new friend Colin.
Oh, he wasn't a friend. He was a minion. And he was barely a minion because he hadn't kind of committed himself to being a minion. He was just coming along with me because he was scared.
I love the
Because
way
you threatened him. He's scared because you basically put his life... You're the one that made him scared.
Exactly. And that's why he came with me. That's how you get minions, right? It's through fear of death generally. You'll do as you're told or else I'm going to hurt you. Okay,
Right.
boss, yes.
What
I've
is...
spent an hour and a half on you. Now you deserve to die.
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't want him to die. I wanted him to come with me. He did exactly what he was supposed to do and threaten with death. And then Bernard let this owlbear kill him. I was trying to help him. I threw him on Wolf to get away.
It's like, I'm here to help you escape. I don't want to go. I will kill you if you don't let me help you.
Yeah.
Like...
Like, like 3 sessions.
but that wraps up our anime-style filler episodes.
That was a bit.
Yeah, anyway, Mark's back next week.
Is he
Oh,
He
seriously?
actually is.
Oh, wow. Awesome. We
I
managed...
thought it was going to be an issue.
No, apparently not. We just needed to... all you needed to do was invent a zoo, and there you go. 3 weeks taken.
Sasha could have
Look at
basically...
that. Maybe that was the plan the whole time.
Next we can go to theatre.
Sasha could have basically just been asleep at the tavern while we were doing this. And that would have been okay.
Yeah, it would have worked.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ate a bad fire giant finger or something.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks for watching,
week.
everybody.
Cool.
Cheers. Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
See ya.
Bye.